only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Dann dürfte aber hier oben jetzt auch keiner mehr rumrennen, ne?
Theoretisch nicht, ne?
Robuste Tür.
Jö. Blitzt da ein bisschen rum. Die Frage ist, wo war denn jetzt der Tatort? War der hier überhaupt? Da ist ja das Gasthaus, ne? Gasthaus der krossen Krabbe. Königskrabbe.
Nothing but rubbish.
Er sagt sich da erstmal alles ein. Hier ist er. Verschlossen.
Greetings, Source Hunter. I don't mean to hinder your investigation, but I can't open...
Whatever happened to that true eager imbecile we sent to the Norman cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize...
Also müssen wir den Oreos finden. Auf jeden Fall.
Watch out! I smell. Oh, the fierce
Aber das Rathaus.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Ah, yes, yes, of course. This.
Oh, fancy that. A source hunter barging in when the lady of the house is fully dressed.
I'm sure. Don't be seduced, comrade.
Made a big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Field's ever seen.
It's heating up.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Source Hunter. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be, we've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second in command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards Source Hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Sicil after all. Note the bravest among my men, and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that. But so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Ah ja.
Greetings. These
3 Punkte. Kirche.
Don't let that rooster escape. He's already on the menu for tonight.
Isn't it a chicken's destiny to be eaten? We should catch it
Hühnchen!
and give it back
Es
to
gibt
the cook.
Hühnchen!
True story indeed. Perhaps we too can have a bite later.
Hätte ihr jetzt auch Bock drauf auf lecker Hühnchen?
Ich muss gleich erstmal meinen Lieferanten befragen, auf was er so Bock hat. Oh, Herzlos +1, das ist so ärgerlich.
Bless the 7, I am restored.
Morgen. Oh, Entschuldigung.
I'm stuck
Wollte
fast.
ich nicht.
Fate is an ice cold.
Jetzt wollte ich nicht. Wo ist er? Entschuldigung.
That doesn't belong to us, you know. You're right, it doesn't. Sometimes I get a little overzealous while I'm on the job. Happens to the best of us. More than a few temptations accompany authority, no?
That was close. Thanks for catching
Ja,
Fidgety Jack.
erstmal einen Kochtopf
Yes, he
mitnehmen.
got nervous when I mentioned.
Ich habe nur zwei im Inventar, weißt du?
Shall we?
Ach so.
Ja, du hast ja auch richtig was zu erzählen, meine Fresse, ey. Ich würde lieber so ein Weinfass mitnehmen hier.
These stores are for our Legion troops. Rivellon's finest work up mighty fine appetites.
Wo ist denn jetzt der krüppelige? Was ist er denn hier?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage. You think that's funny?
Any real damage? Are you joking?
That's
I've
it,
been
troops.
mauled. I'll be
Train
honest.
up.
Blue eyes narrow beneath a heavy brow streaked with sweat and dust. Her hand.
Her brow knits together, but something in her pose relaxes. She clears. I am Bear Daughter. I have not come here to find trouble with the Screech woman. She only startled me. And you are a source hunter. I have heard many tales of your order. Your history is long and honorable. This woman here, the one who now plots her revenge, she crept behind me while I was hunting, and I only defended myself. I would not hurt an innocent screech woman on purpose. But soon their swords were upon me, and they forced me into this cage meant for dogs. Mother would rip the fur from her chest if she could see how they keep me.
I. Mutter will sich das Fell von der Brust reißen. I.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Again!
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Seht ihr Aureus vielleicht irgendwo drin? Hauptquartier der Legion, hörst du, Bruder? Aha. Hier sind 2 Punkte. Hauptmann Aureus und im Studienzimmer. Hey Johnny, alles klar?
What have we here, then?
Aber das ist nicht das Spiel, wo ihr gestern die ganze Zeit drauf gewartet hattet, ne?
Nein, nein.
Look, do what you must.
Das ist das, weil wir schon länger anfangen wollten zu spielen.
Don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You
Ihr
hear?
sagt das überhaupt nichts.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know,
Oh, ich
leader
war
of the
natürlich.
Legion in Seal. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town. Not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Seal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Seal. We are the pride of Rivalon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
Sehr unsympathisch, der Typ.
Ja, direkt draufhauen.
Was haben wir hier oben? Das ist auch noch ein Punkt. Ach, das ist Ahu. Okay.
How can I help you, my friend? What? I'd never. If you must know, I was merely checking up on Maxine. What a delight she is. The temperament of a tiger, the grace of a leopard, and the manners of a lady all rolled into one. A perfect puss, if ever there was one. By all means. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. All the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. Of course. I hope your investigation fares well.
Haben wir da schon alles gequatscht. Dann gehen wir mal zu dem Tatort, würde ich sagen. Gucken wir mal. Dann gucken wir mal die Bösen hier. Nein, der kleine Monster, das ist nicht Minecraft gerade, das stimmt. Das ist Divinity.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Virius. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most...
Minecraft kommt später. Wenn wir Minecraft zocken. Also war der später. Wir haben ja schon viel aufgebaut. Mein Gott, die Zeit vergeht. Er legt mich am Arsch. Schon 5:30. Wo ist die krosse Krabbe? Ah, da hinten war die, ne? Tagebuch hier wieder. Der Mord. Die Kirche, Grabhügel, Leuchtturm und Untotenplage. Okay.
What do you think you're doing?
Ach man, ich habe schon wieder aus so eingepackt.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met
Hab
your
ich nicht schon wieder
match
eingepackt aus
once or
Versehen.
twice.
Was denn da?
The closest I've got to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Ach, keine Ahnung. What?
Aha.
Ich bin auch mal immer. Ein Brief.
It's official. The Duke of Farrell is the worst poet in Rivellon. In his defense, not much rhymes with murder.
Lass mal das Gemälde einsagen. Hier, Kissen. Jawohl.
Looking good.
Hast du ins Spiel geguckt, ne?
Ja, klar.
Sieht gut aus, war klar. So, ich habe einen Brief gefunden. Was steht denn da drin? Mal gucken. Brief von Herzog von Ferrol. Lesen. Liebesbrief, ja, will doch keiner wissen.
Meine liebste Angebetete.
Ja, so ähnlich, ja. Eure Lippen sind rot und sowas stand da, habe ich nur gelesen. Guck mal. War das Ding auch nicht?
Another. I don't know which Cecile you've been turned through, buddy, but this one ain't exactly an adulterous hoppy nesting ground.
Das ist viel zu viel Blut, hör mal. Warum kann ich die Leinwand nicht mitnehmen? Brech.
Ja, also da dies ja ein Tatort ist, bin ich der Meinung, hier ist jemand gestorben. Was sagen Sie dazu, Watson?
Obwohl noch Blutspuren davon zeugen, da es gemetzelt haben können. Wir müssen die Leiche finden. Wo ist denn die Leiche?
Die klebt wahrscheinlich unter der Decke.
Greetings, Source Hunter. Ready to have another
Das
look?
haben wir schon gemacht. Wir können in den Spalt reisen, der blinkt. Machen wir das nochmal, wa? Also ab zu Ende der Zeit.
Aber bitte ohne den Imp.
Hoffentlich, die quasi sowieso jetzt wieder ein Kotelett an der Backe. War klar.
In der Zeit mal ein 5-Gänge-Menü kochen.
You found another starstone, haven't you? Go on. Ask me how I know. Aha! Mere child's play when you know what to look for. And luckily, I do. Do you remember when you first arrived on this plane? When the dormant portal that led us to this hall sprang to life? It's happened again, my friend. Another portal has reignited. The end of time. It's all connected somehow. You, this place, the void, the stones. Soon we'll have unraveled the whole truth. Oh, how I do love a good mystery. You don't imagine that I'd presume to explore it before you? No, that would be most unmannerly. And not to mention, well, No, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just that beyond the portal, I sense a presence that I can't quite account for. It isn't what, but this is only speculation, of course. Come, let me show you the way. Once you're...
Oh, ein Portal. Halle der Helden.
Well, aren't you going to leap through? Who knows what wonder awaits you?
Na dann, auf geht's.
Ist ein Angebot.
Da liegt Käse. Da liegt Käse.
What an impressive room. So it is. A hall fit for kings.
Ich speichere mal eben. Ich quatsch um wirres Zeug. Guck mal. Das ist was für dich. Schweinebraten. Was haben wir denn hier alles? Was steht denn hier so rum? Was steht denn hier so rum? Okay. Bisschen strange, wenn du aus dem Fenster guckst. Wollen wir mitnehmen, so einen Schweinebraten? Geil. Lass mal sagen. Du kannst ja alles mitnehmen hier. Oh, ein bisschen Bestecker. Erstmal das Gedeck klauen. Geil. Ja, toll, nur wertvoll am Ende der Zeit. Will ich da nicht.
Jo, kann man ja mal mitnehmen. Kostet ja nichts.
Wer ist er denn hier? Jan Schneiden. Wo ist die Olle?
Ja, steht da vor dir. But it can only be you, the guardians, those I deceived, those that deserted me. But oh, how weak you have become, as weak as you used to be strong. Look about you. You used to lead, and now you follow, ignorant of your faults and ignorant of your fate. That it has come to this. Woe to the world that it has come to this. He won't believe me, the fiend. But they have come, as I prayed they would.
Ah, okay, hier warten. Wegschicken.
Well, wouldn't you look fine with a strapping warrior at your side? Or is it mages you... Oh, of course, Chief. But maybe you ought to get rid of some of your... oh...
Ach, hier kann man sich die Viecher holen. Also kann man nicht irgendwas holen. Magier und so weiter. Alter Brief. Okay. Hier kann man sich hier diese ja, NPCs holen. KIs, wie auch immer. Wenn man bestimmte haben will. Aber eigentlich haben wir gute, ne? Ein Magier. Die Olle als Nahkämpfer. Ich bin auch Nahkämpfer. Oder ich kann auch einen Stab nehmen.
I wonder who that creature was. And how come she seemed to know me?
Muss ich die jetzt echt wieder anquatschen.
On the shelter plane, most certainly. Ah, yes, the Hall of Heroes. Once upon a time, great feasts were held there in honor of heroes graced by the gods themselves. In that room, mortals and immortals dined side by side. I can't think of a better place to gather new heroes, should you come across such rarities, so that when needed, they can serve you in your quest against the void. Like you, she is a mystery. But she seems to know you, doesn't she? Perhaps you'll meet her again, and we'll learn more about her, and about you. Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! I wonder...
How might I serve our mission? Threads I weave. She is one whose history is shrouded in darkness. She is more than a woman, though less than a goddess. She knows you. You have wronged her. She is part of the end, though she longs to be part of endlessness. The threads tell me that once... Oh, how many eons lie hidden in so small a word? Once, you strode across that hall in shining armor, a sovereign to all who beheld your might. I can clearly read that armies you have led, demons and dragons you have conquered, that you have ascended. But how can this be now that you stand before me a human, a mortal? How far has your soul fled from the being it used to be? New threads, more threads we need.
Okay, jetzt weiß ich auch, was da so gescheppert hat gerade in der Dinge. Oder so ein Stein, den wir gefunden haben.
Ach so.
Ja, dann sind wir hier wohl durch wieder. Dann können wir wieder zur Stadt. Würde ich mal sagen. Die Frage ist jetzt, was müssen wir denn jetzt machen? Wir müssen die Frau des Ratsmitglieds, die war, wo war die denn immer eingesperrt? Wir müssen den warte mal, wir können mit unseren Leuten hier sprechen.
Leave it to an imp to try to fill our minds with all manner of magical gobbledygook. I'll tell you who you are. Source hunters, members of the most esteemed order in Rivellon. Here to find out and grind out every last speck of dark magic in the realm. There, the enigma is solved. are you? You think I'm... No, comrade. You can keep the honor of being the object of the Space Sim's special interest all to yourself. I just hope this fancy of yours doesn't interfere with your real job, or have you forgotten that little detail already? You're a source hunter first, last, and always, comrade.